Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Krishna.
जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंदा जय अद्वैत चंद्र जय गौर भक्त वृंदा जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंदा जय अद्वैत चंद्र जय गौर भक्त वृंदा जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंदा जय अद्वैत चंद्र जय गौर भक्त वृंदा श्री चैतन्य चरितामृत की जय। श्रील कृष्णदास कविराज गोस्वामी की जय। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। समवेत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवम्। नमो ओं विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna, dear devotees, welcome to today's Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita reading. We are reading from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Lila, Chapter 4, Sri Madhavendra Puri's devotional service. In this regard, we were reading that Madhavendra Puri had a dream in which Gopal said that that Gopal is feeling his body is still not cooled down, even after bathing with so many pots of water. It needs sandalwood paste. So Madhavendra Puri should personally go to to Jagannath Puri, where you can secure sandalwood and bring it to Govardhan, and then make a paste of it and apply it on his transcendental body, Sri Vigraha, and then he will be cooled down. So when Madhavendra Puri got this, when he woke up, after making all arrangements for the deity's worship, he left for Jagannath Puri via Bengal. So first he came to Bengal, and there in Shantipur, Madhavendra Puri visited Advaita Acharya. Srila Advaita Acharya was very much impressed by the devotional service of Madhavendra Puri, and he begged him for initiation, for mantra diksha. And Madhavendra Puri, after giving him Diksha, he continued on his journey toward Jagannath Puri. So yesterday we were just discussing on uh, Advaitacharya accepting Diksha from a sannyasi. So then Srila Prabhupada explained in the purport about um, generally in the Vedic system we see that other varnas or anyone, if they need to take, if one accepts mantra diksha from a brahmana, grihastha brahmana, then he can become eligible to worship the deity and he becomes a brahmana. Or here the important significance is not about becoming brahmana, about receiving mantra diksha basically. Because why do you need mantra diksha? You need mantra diksha for so many different things. Specifically, mantra diksha people accept for worshipping the deity. So is that why Advaita Acharya was accepting diksha mantra from Madhavendra Puri so that he could worship the deity? He was already worshipping the deity. But to be connected in that line of disciplic succession, that parampara, even the person who's giving diksha would have received diksha from another person. But anyway, in this purport, the highlight was Srila Prabhupada quotes Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Later on, in the Madhya Leela only, later on, this verse comes that uh, Kiba Vipra Kiba Nyasi Shudra Kene Noi Jai Krishna Tattva Veta Sei Guru Hoy. So the qualification for one to be a guru, only a guru can give diksha, mantra diksha. The qualification for one to be a guru, because in the Vedic system, this diksha is given by guru. Who are gurus? Gurus are grihastha brahmanas. And also Srila Prabhupada explained that why grihastha brahmanas, because brahmanas don't have any other means of securing the things that they need to carry out their activities, Brahminical activities like worshipping. You need so many paraphernalia for worshipping. So when they make disciples, when they give diksha to disciples, the disciples bring whatever is needed for the spiritual master, right? They give. So then that's how the Brahmana's life is also going on. And the people also, if they want to become Brahmanas, if they want that diksha, then they have to go to this Brahmana only. That means that's the only way, right? The Brahmana can only give the diksha. So if they want, they can go to a Brahmana. Uh, so that was the system existent in the Vedic society. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said that I know, I understand by making this statement or saying this verse, Kiba Vipra Kiba Vipra Kiba Nyasi Shudra Kene Noi Jai Krishna Tattva Veta Say Guru Hoy. By saying this verse, what is Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu indicating? He is indicating that unless one knows the science of Krishna, he cannot be a guru. Or the only qualification a person needs to be a guru is he must be conversant with the science of Krishna, regardless of his birth, whether he is a Brahmana or his situation, whether he is a sannyasi or Shudra, whoever he may be, it does not matter, or a Chandala by birth. He may or may not be a Brahmana, but if he knows the science of Krishna, and also another point is he knows the practical devotional service. Simply knowing Krishna theoretically is not sufficient. Is actually practically rendering devotion, because that's natural. Once you understand Krishna's position and your position, you don't have any other option except to surrender your life to Krishna. Yeah, there's no. That's why if you get that Shraddha, full faith, full conviction that this is only Krishna is the Supreme Lord and I am a servant, once you get that conviction, you're not left with any other option but to surrender to Krishna. That's why that was Sarva Dharman Parityaja Mamekam Sharanam Raja is the last word in Bhagavad Gita. Last word means Lord Krishna's last instruction in Bhagavad Gita. The rest remaining verses after that is further talks between, basically Sanjaya expressing his appreciation of the whole Bhagavad Gita and like that. But Krishna's instruction to Arjun stops there. Sarva dharman parityaja mam ekam sharanam vraja. Aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshayishami ma shucha. So that's that, and that is the beginning. That's the last instruction in Bhagavad Gita, and that is the beginning of pure devotional service. Surrender to Krishna. Yes. So, so therefore, uh, who is qualified to be a guru? Only one who knows the science of Krishna. That's why Advaita Acharya was a very famous Brahmana. He was seen as the leader of all Brahmanas, and he accepted uh, Diksha from Madhavendra Puri. And about Madhavendra Puri, we don't hear anything about, he's from, because of his sannyas ashram, he's from such a prestigious sannyas ashram, therefore Advaita Acharya took initiation, or because Madhavendra Puri's high birth in such and such family, therefore Advaita Acharya took birth. No, no mention of all that. We don't even know anything. All we know is about his devotional service, his pure devotional service. He would just go into ecstasy seeing the clouds because everything, he wouldn't be in external consciousness. So we just hear about his love for Krishna, his devotional service. And that is his qualification to initiate Advaita Acharya. So in this way, Madhavendra Puri initiated Advaita Acharya, and then he continued on his journey from there, from Shantipur. So he's on his way to Jagannath Puri. Re munate koilo gopinath darshana, tara rupa dekhiya hoilo vihvala mana. Re munate koilo gopinath darshana. So Remunate means in Remuna, in the village of Remuna. What did Madhavendra Puri do? He took darshan of Gopinath. Gopinath, Kirchor Gopinath, as we call that Gopinath. So in Remuna, so he's on his way to Jagannath Puri, and Remuna comes on the way. From Bengal to Jagannath Puri, on the way is Remuna. So Madhavendra Puri stopped at Remuna to take darshan of Gopinath. At that time, he was not called Kirchor Gopinath, he was only Gopinath. And Madhavendra Puri went there. So he went to take darshan of Gopinath. Tara Rupa Dekhiya Hoilo Vihvalamana. And when he got darshan of Gopinath, when he saw the beautiful form of Gopinath, his mind became completely bewildered, seeing the beauty, enchanted, right? Not just enchanted, the superlative degree of being enchanted. He just became bewildered, seeing the beauty, the form of Gopinath. He was attracted. Going into South India, Sri Madhavendra Puri visited Remuna, where Gopinath is situated. Upon seeing the beauty of the deity, Madhavendra Puri was overwhelmed. Nitya Gita Kori Jaga Mohane Bosila Kya Kya Bhoga Lage Brahmane Puchila. Nitya Gita Kori Jaga Mohane Bosila. So by seeing Gopinath's beauty, he was completely overwhelmed, and he just danced and sang in front of Gopinath. And after that, after singing and dancing, Jagmohan means the corridor of the temple. So I didn't know that. Jagamohana. So, and after dancing and singing in the corridor of the temple, he sat down, Bosila. And then the the pujari who's making various offerings to the deity and who's worshipping the deity, you know, when you see the deity, of course, when one is an exalted devotee, they can understand so many things. I'll just give you one example. I forget which temple. If you know, please tell me. I was thinking it's New Vrindavan, but I'm not sure. Some temple. So Srila Prabhupada, he's traveling all over uh, the world, visiting various centers of ISKCON. So Srila Prabhupada came to one particular temple. He just came and he took darshan of the deities, and then he tells the head of that temple there, Krishna looks tired. Krishna looks tired. Aren't you giving him rest in the afternoon? No, no, you must give him rest. You should give him some rest in the afternoon. So that's when they started putting Krishna to rest. So similarly, Madhavendra Puri, when he saw the deity of Gopinath, wow, he's looking so nice, right? He's looking so like little babies when you see, you can tell, right? If they're why little babies, even children, right? Those who are fed nicely and they get enough rest, and they are then they are very playful, they are happy, isn't it? And they look satisfied like that. So, or just by their body, if you see that, oh, this child looks good. Sometimes mothers ask, what do you feed your child? Right? So Madhavendra Puri saw the deity, so beautiful. And he asked the pujari, what all do you feed Gopinath? Right? What offerings? Of course, there's another reason here, because he very much liked the way Gopinath was, because he looked so effulgent and so, you know, he was so attractive. So, see, about the deity, how the deity looks is a reflection of how nicely he is served. The deity is served. In one lecture, Srila Prabhupada says that how much reciprocation you get from the deity depends on on your devotional service that you're rendering to the deity. If you really just see Madhavendra Puri, the deity speaks. He comes in front of him. He gives him instructions what he wants and what the devotee should do. This can happen to a devotee. Srila Prabhupada says, you will see the deity like talking, and for Damodar, Jiva Goswami, Srila Jiva Goswami. Radha Damodar was so pleased with the service of Srila Jiva Goswami, he would call, Radha Damodar would call Jiva Goswami, Jiva, come, come, I'm playing my flute. And he would come, and the deity is playing such melodious, flute song for his devotee. So many. But we want only the result, but not you know, what I am supposed to do. I'm lazy, to do that. But the result I want. I also want to see reciprocation. I want Krishna to talk to me and all that. We want all those things. But what type of devotional service the devotees are doing? So if one is intelligent, if he really likes uh, you know, if he's very much attracted to some particular result, then he will actually find out how this result is coming, and then he will actually learn lessons about how to get there and apply it in his life. So yeah, so regarding deity worship, Srila Prabhupada said that the deity can talk to you. It all depends on how nicely you serve the deity, how personally. And personally, of course, again, it has to be done according to the Pancharatra Vidhi, the way it is taught. And deity worship and chanting of the Lord's holy names go hand in hand. It's not that, oh, I'm doing so much deity. Sometimes we think deity worship means no need of chanting. It's okay because I'm doing deity worship, that's taken care of. So if we simply do deity worship and if we don't chant and if we don't hear, then after some time the deity worship will seem like a burden. But if you're chanting and hearing, and then you do deity worship, oh, you'll be so enlivened by that deity worship and you'll feel so much reciprocation from the Lord. Anyway, here Madhavendra Puri already had a deity of Gopal, and he was to go back and apply sandalwood on Gopal, and then he was already engaged in worshipping Gopal. So I wonder how they're worshipping. This deity looks so much alive, right? As if he will just start talking now. So, then what do you feed him? He wanted to learn how they serve Gopal, I mean, Gopinath, and he wanted to do the same thing with his deity. He wanted to serve Gopal also in the same way. So that was the idea. So he asked, what offerings, what all do you feed Gopinath? Nitya Gita Kori Jaga Mohane Bosila Kya Kya Bhoga Lage Brahmane Puchila. What offerings do you make to the deity? In the corridor of the temple from which people generally viewed the deity, Madhavendra chanted and danced. So, yeah. Then he sat down there. So, like you have two parts of the temple, like in Jagannath temple also. You have the actual altar, temple room where the deity is there, where only the pujaris are allowed. And then the extension of that would be the big temple hall where all the visitors can come and take darshan of the Lord and perform kirtan and like that. So so that's why it is said there in the corridor of the temple where everyone comes to take darshan of the deity. Madhavendra Puri danced and sang, and then he sat down and he asked the pujari, "What offerings do you make? What kind of foods are offered to the deity?" सेवार सौष्ठव देखी आनंदित मने उत्तम भोग लागे एथा बुझी अनुमाने सेवार saushtava means excellence. So by seeing the excellence of deity worship, ananda mane anandita mane, his mind, his heart was so pleased when he heard or when he saw the excellence of deity worship in Remuna to Gopinath. He was so pleased. Uttama bhoga lage etha buji anumane. So he understood the type of offerings that are made are excellent. I can tell, I can understand. From the excellence of the arrangements, Madhavendra Puri understood by deduction. Right? So this was his conclusion. He just concluded within himself. Madhavendra Puri understood by deduction that only the best food was offered. By seeing the excellence of arrangements, again, when you see the deity, and when you say deity, the temple room is the extension of the deity, right? Deity's paraphernalia, tadiya. So when you see the deity and simply the arrangements in the temple, uh, you can understand, oh, what type of food is being offered to the deity, first class or not, uttama bhoga. And Madhavendra Puri could immediately deduce that only best food is being offered to the deity here. That's why he wanted to know what is it. What all are you offering? Yaiche iha bhoga lage sakalai puchiba taiche bhiane bhoga gopala lagiba. So this is the thing. Huh? Whatever bhoga is being offered to Gopinath, all that he would ask. He's thinking, I will ask them about what all they are offering to Gopinath, and the same things I will offer to Gopal also. Madhavendra Puri thought, I shall inquire from the priest what foods are offered to Gopinath, so that by making arrangements in our kitchen, we can offer similar foods to Sri Gopal. Because Gopinath looks so pleased. So we want to offer the best service to Gopal also. He'll also be very pleased. Ei lagi puchile na brahmanera sthane, brahmana kohilo sabha bhoga vivarane. So when ei lagi means for this matter, Madhavendra Puri had asked the Brahmana who was in Remana, he asked him, and the Brahmana also gave a detailed description of what all are offered to Gopinath. When the Brahmana priest was questioned about this matter, he explained in detail what kinds of foods were offered to the deity of Gopinath. Sandhyaya bhoga lage khira amrita keli nama dvadasha amrit patre bhari amrita samana. So while he was describing what all different food preparations are offered to Gopinath, he said in the evening or at night, Sandhya, right? Uh, we offer sweet rice, kheer, and that particular kheer, sweet rice, which is offered here, it is called Amrita Keli. Amrita Keli. Dvadasha Mrit Patre Bhori. And how much do we offer? In 12 clay pots, 12 clay pots filled with this Amrita Keli. This, why it is called Amrita? Amrita means nectar. Nectar, Amrita. Deathless, right? It will make you deathless. Amrita. Amrita means death. So, but generally you understand Amrita means it is delicious. It's like out of this world, as they say. Amrita, which the demigods drink. So why this sweet rice is called Amrita Keli? Because it is just like Amrita. So delicious. So its name is Amrita Keli, and they offer 12 pots, 12 clay pots filled with Amrita Keli, sweet rice, to Gopinath in the night. The Brahmana priest said in the evening the deity is offered sweet rice in 12 earthen pots. Because the taste is as good as nectar, it is named Amrita Keli. You're delaying, it's already 4:20. गोपीनाथेर खीर बोली प्रसिद्ध नाम जारा पृथ्वी ते ऐच्छे भोगा कहा नहीं आरा. Gopinathera Khira Boli Prasiddha Namajar. This Amrita Keli is actually famous as Gopinather Kheer. This Amrita Keli, it is offered only here in Remuna to Gopinath. This particular recipe of sweet rice which we follow, it is called Amrita Keli. This Amrita Keli is famous as Gopinather Kheer. Prithivite Aicha Bhoga Kaha Nahi Aar. This type of offering you will never find anywhere on the earth planet. The Brahmana is saying this to Madhavendra Puri. You can imagine how, uh, enthused and inspired Madhavendra Puri is feeling by hearing this, because now I get the secret recipe, which is only in one place on the whole planet. This recipe is there. And now, this I would like to offer to my deity Gopal also. So Gopinathera Khira Boli Prasiddha Nama Jar Prithivite Aiche Bhoga Kaha Nahi Ar. This sweet rice is celebrated throughout the world as Gopinather Kheer. Why Gopinather Kheer? Because There's no other kheer like this. This is a special recipe only for Gopinath. It is not offered anywhere else in the world. हे नकाले से भोग ठाकुरे लागिला शुनी पुरी गोसाई किछु मने विचारिला हे no kale. So while they were talking like this at that time, then Madhavendra Puri is talking to the pujari or the brahmana there in Remuna, asking about what offerings you make, and then he started describing this Amrita Keli, which is famous as Gopinath's kheer. And while they were talking about this, the glories of this kheer, right at that time, the pujari comes on the altar with those 12 pots of Amrita Keli to offer to Govinath. Right at that time, when the offering was uh, being made. Hena kale sei bhoga Thakure lagila. At that very time when they are talking, that same bhoga, Amrita Keli or Gopinath's kheer, was being offered to Thakurji, Gopinath. Shuni Puri Gosai Kichu Mane Vicharila. And when he heard the glories of that Amrita Keli, one thought came to Madhavendra Puri's mind. What was that? While Madhavendra Puri was talking with the Brahmana priest, the sweet rice was placed before the deity as an offering. Hearing this, so meanwhile Madhavendra Puri is talking to this Brahmana and he is hearing what he said. Madhavendra Puri thought as follows. Ayachita khira prasada alpajadi pai swada jani taiche khira gopale lagai. Ayachite. Yachite mane yachna is to beg. Without asking. Ayachite. Without begging, without asking. Khir prasad alpo. Very little. Jadi pai. If at all. Because you see, Madhavendra Puri never asked for anything. Remember? Even if he's hungry, he would not ask, oh, can you please give me some water, some milk? No. He would just starve, but he would never ask anyone for anything. That's why Krishna personally brought him milk in Govardhan or near Govindkund. So he's thinking, if without asking, if I could get a little bit, I want to get a taste of that kheer. Why? Because it's so famous and everyone knows. I want to see and I want to relish that sweet rice. No, that's not the purpose. If I get a little bit of that kheer, I will taste and I'll find out. By tasting it, I can tell what ingredients went in there. And I'll also know what it tastes like. So when I make a similar one there, I will know if it is the same or not. Because I have tasted this, I can tell if it's the same or not. So without asking, ayachite, Khira Prasad, Alpo Jadi Pai, if I get a little bit, Swada Jani, Taiche Kheer, Gopale Lagai. When I get the taste, I will understand, then the same kheer I can prepare and offer to Gopal in Braj. If without my asking a little sweet rice is given to me, I can then taste it and make a similar preparation to offer to my Lord Gopal. That thought came to him at that very moment when they were talking about this Amrita Keli, and at that very moment the priest happened to come and offer it to the Lord, and he didn't even say it. It's not that he asked the pujari. It just came to his mind at that very moment when when it was offered to Gopinath. Then what Madhavendra Puri felt, what he did, we will discuss that tomorrow. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, dear devotees.